Hello, everybody. My name is Saturn, and you are watching the Summer of Saturn, which is our special videos that we have taken throughout the entire time of Stone Fruit, which is roughly almost 2 years. Not Stone Fruit itself, but the Stone Fruit Roll-Up, which is one of my personal favorite programs. Today, we are going over the first birthday episode of Stone Fruit. I actually show up a little bit in this episode, even though I was at school at the time, which is I used to produce the show until I had to go back into school, and hopefully I can continue producing throughout the year this year, but we'll see. Anyway, I love this episode a lot, and I know you will as much as I do. Bye-bye, and I hope you enjoy. If I can pull it up, give me 5 seconds. I thought I had it pulled up already. Apparently I didn't. Here you go, guys. Enjoy, and I hope you enjoy as much as I do.
Why, hello there, and welcome to the Stone Fruit Roll-Up. And you're watching the show about building the show you're watching live right now. My name is Tony Parecco. I'm a podcast producer based in the Washington, D.C. area, and I will be your unusual and not usual host today. And the reason why I'll be your not usual host is because Stone Fruit Marketing is turning 1 year old. So we are going to give your usual host, Stone Fruit Marketing's Peach-in-Chief, Rebecca Gunter, a day off, kind of, so we can celebrate and recognize her, because really, who wants to be the host of their own birthday party? And that's what this is, folks. We are live streaming a birthday party. Actually, Rebecca, why don't you come online right now and say hi? Yeah, we're live streaming your birthday party. It's your birthday. And that's fun. You know, I've never been to a birthday party that was also live streamed.
Cue the virtual hats and streamers, Tony.
Oh, my favorite, I think, noisemaker is the one you spin around. It wasn't Foley. Yeah, that's not Foley. It's like pantomimed Foley. Anyway, let's get down to the down and dirty on the being here together today and what we're going to do, which is share some stories, some memories, some reflections as we cheerily watched the planting of Stone Fruit Marketing's entrepreneurial seeds, the blossoming of its business flowers, and now, in the middle of October, it's autumnal harvests. And isn't autumnal a great word?
As a copy shop, as a copywriting focused, brava. And Janine will be so happy that you brought the seasons and the regeneration and the abundance and the all of that.
Abundance.
So do you have if you had longer hair, would you wear it in a man abundance?
A man abundance. Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, like our chemistry today. Oh my god. And our matching jackets.
You don't like these matching jackets?
Yeah. This was Rebecca's birthday present, and then one for me too, because I was like,
yeah,
I need one. We
got to be twinning our Lana Del Racing jackets.
Yep, our Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, with all the albums on the sleeve.
Patchies and matchies. So come on, stay on task, Rebecca. You're doing great.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say more about what we're gonna do today, and we're gonna start with a question and then begin to bring on some of our special guests to our birthday party.
Oh my god!
I know. I didn't even know those guests were there. And so we're gonna spend some time on the question: what is your favorite Stone Fruit memory from the past year? And
when you opened this show just a few minutes ago.
Oh, way to go! It was low hanging fruit.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
very good.
So, and I'm going to begin with mine before we start bringing our guests on. And it really didn't emerge as my favorite Stone Fruit memory until I kind of thought about this question this morning when I was typing all this into my phone. And I was thinking back to when Rebecca told me that she was going to start doing a live stream show. And I remember thinking, it's kind of weird. And I think that's because my knee-jerk reaction is often to look at things that people do as if I were doing them, which is sometimes kind of either pokey or change resistant. But Rebecca Gunter, on the other hand, is neither of those things. And said differently, I can be kind of a selfish jerk. And I'm like, well, why would anyone do that? Like, I wouldn't start a live stream show. Like, because I don't have a need to, because I don't, like my professional life right now is presently not premised on expanding visibility. And that was, something you identified. So it was, my memory is thinking about putting it together of that you were like, this is a good idea.
You don't give yourself enough credit. You are a prolific podcaster. You have a delightful circuit where you tell dad jokes and play ukulele. You are an adventuresome content creator. You've jumped on a bunch of things here at Stone Fruit, even though you hate to be underprepared, and I love to fly by the seat of my pants. So you've had to cling on through some precarious moments.
Oh,
but
you're kind, but sometimes I just don't even want to put on pants. And am I wearing pants right now? Am I Porky Pigging it?
Who would know? Who would know?
Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite Stone Fruit memory of the past year. Rebecca telling me that she was going to start doing this show, and then realizing what a good idea it was. So I guess Rebecca, before we get to your favorite memory, let's start bringing on some of our guests. I'll defer to you on.
Yeah, is it possible we could start with Saturn, who cannot stay for very long?
Sure, you got it.
Intergalactic intern Saturn Gunter,
Coming
coming in from school.
Hi.
from school.
Yeah, no, I had to ask if we can push D&D a little bit back a little bit so I can be here, but I can.
Okay, well, you're our first guest.
Huh?
You're D&Ding at school?
Yeah. We're playing. Oh, you didn't get to see the table, but we're fully playing D&D and stuff. We've been playing all week.
Cool. Have you rolled for initiative?
Too many times.
It's just the order. I know. Yeah.
I do want to talk about Bro the Owlbear later, though.
I'm looking forward to that. So Saturn, thanks for taking some time out of your amazing school that lets you play D&D at, in the classroom. Saturn, tell us about who you are and a little bit about who you are and what you've done alongside Stone Fruit in the last year.
I'm Saturn. Rebecca is my mother. And over the summer, I produced this show, and I wanted to continue producing it throughout the school year, but my American history class clashes with the time of this, and they won't move me into a different American history class. So I sadly had to step down from that but I can take over when I have the time. I've worked on and off for Stone Fruit for a while. I did a bunch of I'm forgetting the words. Show notes. I ran this. I've set things up. I've done a bunch of sheets. Like, that's all I really do. I do some behind the scenes work. That's about it.
That's great to hear, Saturn. And no, you did such an amazing job running the show over the summer.
I tried, and I set up a bunch of the custom layouts.
Oh,
that is absolutely true. Some of these banners come from. Well, I'll have to get to our Stone Fruit banners, but there's a bunch of banners. Titles by Saturn. Oh, Tony, you have your own title. You ready to hear it?
He has like 3. Oh. He has like 5 titles.
The Killer.
We all had at least like 2. Yeah.
Master of the Supermobile Command Unit. Professional Factor Consumer. These are all Saturn's contributions to Stone Fruit and our video presentation.
Well, I always tried.
Saturn, you're amazing. Saturn, while we have you here, question for you: what's your favorite Stone Fruit memory of the past year?
Doing my own shows. Those were always super fun, and I really enjoyed doing them. And I'm sad I can't do them right for now.
It's real great.
I liked our one on Discord the most.
Yeah, Tony and Saturn had a wonderful roll up discussing Discord and talking about finding online communities, which was very cool.
Guess who's on Discord now? I set her up. She's on Discord.
At me, bro.
So
At
what are
me.
you gonna where are you gonna Discord? Like what servers are you looking for?
Right now, I'm just in a small
You're just
chat
lurking?
feature. That's just. I haven't even explored. I haven't even gone out of my inbox yet.
Yeah, no, she's literally just in a group chat with me and my best friend and DMs me.
It's just a lot of emojis back and forth, which we call penguin pebbling.
Penguin pebbling.
Yeah,
That's so fun.
that's it.
That's really
All right.
Well, thank you,
Well,
Saturn.
yeah, I gotta go. Everyone's answering to get into combat and stuff. Bye, guys.
Okay,
Thank you for
thanks for
having
coming,
Cast
Saturn.
magic missile for me.
me.
My Saturn. Wasn't that delicious? Wasn't a
And-
cheery? Yeah.
Indeed. Intergalactic intern Saturn.
Well, that's great. So, Rebecca, why don't you bring out our next special guest?
Boy, I think that our next special guest should be my girl Kathleen, who's coming to us from the Great White North, as we say. That's Canada, our neighbors to the north.
Canada.
I had the pleasure of meeting Kathleen just kind of randomly as I was on another podcast, and you know how those worlds just start to collide, and I got a chance to work with her one-on-one, doing some positioning for her own brand. And my girl is so sweet. She just got all misty talking about her clients, and I knew that was a person that I needed to be in my orbit or in each other's bubbles for quite a long time. And ever since then, we've worked together on various projects. And Kathleen is officially like the first real staff member of Stone Fruit, and is keeps me grounded and keeps me sane behind the scenes, and all of the heavy lift of even just this show. I can't wait to just put on her lap. She also sends me Canadian treats and groceries when I'm really, really need it. So she's just been an awesome friend and a wonderful colleague and a co-collaborator. And I really want to bring Kathleen more to the face of Stone Fruit. So let's bring
And I want to bring her more
next.
on. Yeah, let's bring on Kathleen. Yeah, Kathleen. Hi.
Hey everyone. Rebecca, you're gonna
Yeah.
make me cry. Thank you for that lovely intro.
Oh my God, girl. You've just been such a big supporter, whether or not we were in any kind of like formal business arrangement or not. I've bartered with you. I've advised you. You've advised me, and now it's kind of like it's StreamYard official, as they say,
Yeah.
where you and I have entered into a more formal arrangement, and have been starting to actually get this out of a solo one-woman brand, as we say,
Yeah.
and into a real growable, scalable machine. So I couldn't do it without you, and I really wanted to bring you out here next because
Thank you.
you truly are the future of Stone Fruit.
I feel pretty honored actually that I went right after Saturn.
And Saturn really only went next because they had to get back to school. So it
Mm,
would have been
D&D
it would have been
school.
you. It would have been you, beauty school.
Better watch out.
Indeed. So thank you for your time and energy. And I think we're gonna tease the folks at home. You might have your own Stone Fruit roll up. Your a solo show coming up for you.
Yeah. I'm very nervous about that.
Well, you can make it as short or as long as you want. This is a grand experimental space. And
Yeah.
also, since you'll be taking over the American Thanksgiving Thursday,
Hmm.
you don't have to be that nervous because
No one's
well,
watching. They're eating.
but
know.
we'll be catching up on that replay
Yeah.
along with the turkey sandwiches for sure.
Well, I'm going to figure it out. I have an idea, but I realize that probably most people might be doing Thanksgiving, so we'll have to figure that out. But I liked my idea for the show.
Do something quirky if you feel like it. Tony, tell us about UK All Day and how that's a quirky takeover of the show.
Oh, yeah, so one takeover that I do with our UK bestie Jill Noakes is that
And Becky.
I play an idiot and Becky. I play a god, a Yank, knowing not much about British culture and getting to honestly ask stupid questions about the basics of their life. And,
I love that.
Yeah, I think actually something that I expect we'll likely talk about this on the next UK All Day, but something that Jill was astonished to hear is that we here in the States don't have window washers as a typical just service you get for your house.
Well,
I know, right?
We have them here.
I mean,
Like
as
once a
in-
week? They come to your house
Yeah,
once
that's
a
what I
week?
mean.
That's not
Like,
a
once a
thing. That's
week.
not a thing. Like, you actively have to go out and seek them. I've never seen anyone have window washers, but I
It's
know they
weekly.
exist.
it strikes me as maybe the 21st century equivalent of a chimney sweep, maybe.
I'm astonished that in this economy, people can afford to have someone come in and wash their windows once a week.
Yeah,
Interesting.
very surprising.
All right,
Kathleen,
Tony, let's stay on task.
Yeah, we are into that. One last a little Canadian
Okay.
question for you, Kathleen. So you could pick one of these two questions before we get to your memory, and it is one: either did you have any of the Kraft Canadian specific mac and cheeses like the poutine or the butter chicken, or just tell us about the last really Canadian thing you ate.
I can see that I'm lagging.
Don't sweat it.
Am I still lagging?
You're fine.
Okay. Okay. My last really Canadian thing that I ate would be, I would say I had a butter tart.
What's a butter tart?
It's
What a butterface? Sorry, Kathleen, that's an old
a butter
American joke.
tart is like a butterface, like she's hot butterface because she's ugly. Yeah, we got that joke over here.
Oh, okay, over here. We're not so different, you and I.
Yeah. No, we're not. Okay, I'm lagging, so I'm gonna go upstairs. I just had screaming kids before.
Okay.
The
Oh,
most
good.
Canadian
Kathleen,
thing
yeah.
I've had to eat
Oh, you're still going. Great.
recently is the butter tart. It is a pie pastry that is literally filled with sugar and butter and pecans. And it's just
Yum.
baked.
That sounds
then-
delicious.
I eat poutine once a week and all those French fries and chips.
Fun
You're
fact,
Canadian.
Fun fact, Kathleen once sent me a box of all Canadian snacks. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but that's when we fell in love.
I just didn't realize that not everywhere had all dressed chips.
It's a crime against humanity. Indeed.
I just don't know. But I will have to say, when I was in the States, when I went to Salem, your guys' food friggin' slaps, man.
That also sounds so American when you say your food freaking slaps. That's fun. And what
Did you
do
have
you
it-
mean by that, Kathleen?
I ate a whole box of Trader Joe's mini pumpkin cookies in one sitting. I let Ryan, my husband, have one.
That's all he gets.
You gave him that one.
He got
all
one,
it-
and they're literally this big. I sent a picture to Rebecca, and I was like, "I need these, please."
Trader Joe's is, I mean, what's weird is that I believe a large number of Trader Joe's factories are in Canada, but that
But we
which is
just don't
weird.
get them.
You don't
Great.
get the stores. Yeah, the people in Vancouver are lucky because they can just drive across the border and go. Yeah, I know Trader Joe's has really impacted American cuisine. I
It's
used to work
freaking
there for a
delicious.
few
And I
years.
went to a Shake Shack.
You went to a Shake Shack. That's fun. Did you have a good, and it was great?
It was fantastic. I had a hot dog with melted cheese on it. Never had that in my life.
It's the American
Also
dream, baby.
Underexplored, in my opinion, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Kathleen, tell us about your big, most memorable favorite stone fruit memory from the past year.
I think the biggest one is, sorry, Rebecca, you picking a lane and sticking to it for a long period of time and not changing your mind. But
Let's call it experimental.
My favorite memories is when you first started, and literally the amount of times you would say raw dog in this episode. Loved it.
Well, I'm glad I tickled you, darling. you do seem to enjoy the making fun of me and all the chaos. And thank God you're here. Thank God you're
You have
here.
to make fun of it, or like, well, especially for me, like I don't have to make fun of you, but if I don't, sometimes it would drive me nuts.
Exactly. I agree.
I like to have everything like in perfect order, and you are a creative person, so not everything goes in perfect order. So if I didn't just chuckle at you, I would have to quit.
And that's don't even say those words out loud. What's the future of Stone Fruit for you? What do you think the next year will look like under your guidance?
I'm hoping it will be more streamlined. I would like to have an employee, or at least more contractors brought on,
Mm-hmm.
but really have some like solid processes in place for everything, which is really hard to do, especially if you don't have like employees or other contractors to go through everything because no one else is running through it. I think that's what will happen.
That'll be your legacy, girl.
Yeah.
That'll be your legacy. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you for coming to our birthday party.
And thank you for having me. I was gonna wear like a little birthday hat.
Yeah.
Stuff, but then I couldn't find Owen's birthday shit today.
I also should have worn a birthday hat, so that's a note for next year.
It is. I was so mad. I was gonna like do like a whole. Ryan moved it, and I was like, "You're the."
That reminds me. Oh,
how nice!
This is why I don't do Stone Fruit's graphic design. I need to learn how to clean a whiteboard. That's
oh, they're like trying to dig it.
You're kind.
There have been many notes in there. Indeed. Mm-hmm. Well, Kathleen, stick around if you want to for kind of everybody at the end. But it was so awesome to make you a public face here at Stone Fruit, and I can't wait to have more Kathleen, more cowbell, and more Kathleen. Thanks, girl.
Thank
you. Back. Yeah. All right, Tony. What's next?
That's a nasty glare, so that's not going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's bring on our next guest. Who's our next guest?
Okay, I'm going to bring Donna and Chad. Donna and Zach on together. Sorry, Zach, because they both play this really awesome, unique role. Sorry, Zach, I called you your dad's name.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I know. This is probably the third time I've done it in the last whatever. But Donna and Zach are a really unique guest. One, it warms my heart as you saw my own kid, Saturn, come to the table. And one day, many moons ago, Zach was just a teenager in high school carving out time to help his mom in business. And now, after years of working together, Zach has his own entrepreneur on fire, has a wonderful business called Dozer Dog Designs, and has been the executive producer on Business in the Raw. So I thought these two would be super fun to come to the table as a pair, as it were, as a family unit, as a family business, it's a family affair, and be a part of our birthday party. Donna and Zach have both been in the client role. Donna's given me some excellent advice in the advisor role, and Zach then as client, and then also as creator of Business in the Raw. So,
and
welcome board
on what is Business in the Raw.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, if you're watching this show and you're not aware that there is an additional television show, which I can't wait to talk to Janine and Ross about in our next segment, called Business in the Raw. And Business in the Raw is a kind of documentary style, if you will, a fly on the wall perspective reality show of coaching a single entrepreneur through their journey to launch a delicious brand. And we'll see Janine here shortly because she is the focus of that show. And when Ross asked me if I wanted to have a second live show, Business in the Raw was the answer. And so it's not like Stone Fruit Roll Up where we just go live and all the things happen. It's recorded sessions in which get produced in this, finished, snackable content kind of way. And Zach's been able to take his short form chops and turn it into long form. And that is Business in the Raw. We just wrapped season 1 and we'll be launching season 2 in 2024.
Exciting. So
Exciting.
Donna and Zach, let's hear from you. Let's hear some delicious memories. Donna, let's start with you. Let's tell us about your favorite stone fruit memory in the past year.
Well, mine, as both a business owner and as a mom, is to watch Zach be able to take the reins on a lot of things. From a marketing perspective, he's grown up in an environment where both of his parents are self-employed, and he's seen that, and it's in his blood now. And as I came to points where I would say, well, this is out of my zone of what I know how to do from the marketing side and leaning on Rebecca, he also picked up my slack there too. So it's fun to be able to see him take the reins and take ownership of a lot of the marketing things that I'm doing. And we've kind of switched the tables, from year's birth to 16, 17. I'm the one telling him what to do. Now he's turning around telling me what to do.
It is adorable, actually, when you'll see like the two in the meeting. Zach will be like, well, what I do in my onboarding process, and this is how we manage it for our clients. And you're like, dang, the student has surpassed the teacher in this area. Yeah. And what I love about Donna is that she doesn't bristle, in any kind of way. She's not like, how sometimes when someone who you raised then tells you something about yourself or about your business or about something you happen to know a lot about, it's easy to be like, well, I raised you and I raised this business. But Donna's not like that at all.
Donna, you really look like you can take a note.
She can take a note
with a smile and mean it. Like that's what I mean. It's a compliment.
And truly takes the note. It's like, oh, okay, that's an interesting idea. So it's very cool to watch the two of them together, and it's inspiring for how to work with Saturn.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite Donna moment, if you didn't ask, but I'm going to share it anyway. Donna was really seeing. So Donna and I collaborated on a case study for a client of hers. And I love to write a case study where I talk to the client directly, and then I talk to their client, I talk to my client, figure out what's the story here, and we create a case study that won't bore you. And I think we did do that. So I talked to Donna's client, and then I talked to her. We put it together. We put together a beautiful case study. And what I love about Donna, she's so willing to, when it makes sense, to invest a little bit more in a beautiful product. And so she did invest in the layout and design of this case study with graphics and pictures and images. Then she had the thing framed and gave it to her client on a frame. And so seeing all this beautiful work come together and all this collaboration, and then Donna going the extra mile to have it laid out and then printed and framed, and then the client, just to say, but this whole story is to see, watching the client, Jeremy, just like his face beaming from ear to ear, and we all did that. And that's my favorite stone fruit moment with Donna.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Zach, let's turn to you. Tell us about you and your favorite memory of stone fruit this past year.
Probably just like being able to work on business in the raw. I think that was a fun project. It was cool to be able to see that from fruition all the way to, what it became, and, finishing out the season, all that kind of stuff. So that was probably the best part of it from, my side of things. I also love to, just work on like client stuff as well. Like, working with my mom and you on like the projects as far as like for her business, getting some stuff with positioning done, like all that kind of stuff, being able to learn from you and learn from, everybody in the community. I think it's the best part that I've seen like in the past years, just being able to gain the knowledge. And like I talk about like, working a job to learn things, like instead of just trying to be the best and do all that kind of stuff. Yes, that's great. But the amount of like learning opportunity from investing in, Rebecca and in stone fruit and that kind of stuff, like the amount of learning opportunities that I've come to as a young person is like immense. I've been able to gain a lot of marketing knowledge, a lot of, information about positioning. Like I have like a big project that's coming out like beginning of next year, probably either January or February. And there's going to be a big portion of it in there that's on positioning. So I've really leaned on to Rebecca's positioning systems for my systems too, because it's just so powerful. And that's probably my favorite memories from Stone Fruit this past year. And yeah.
Zach, you talk like you've had a career for 2.5 decades already. Like I mean, like I'm thinking what comes to mind is Pharma Bro for Good. Like you are very well, like as in I had no systems at the age of 18. Like
Yep.
like you impressed me, sir.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And that's kind of my thing as well, is just to, part of my mission is to inspire the other people that are my age as well, to be able to make better decisions and be able to learn different things. And I think that my avenue of doing that is through marketing and through like this whole process. So that's why it's so, crucial that I've learned so much from Rebecca, and why it's so awesome in my opinion.
Also, your streaming is tight. Like you know how to stay on target. I am I can handle it, but I know I'm a little manic. But like, no, you know how to walk that line and like not fall off it. You're great, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Rebecca, I think you're muted.
Oh, you're still muted.
You unmuted yourself and then it remuted you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna touch the thing. Ross, this is what I'm talking about. My favorite thing about this story that Zach just told about his big project, it has me so jazzed, is that normally when someone brings me in and wants to talk about positioning, maybe I'll come in and record a podcast with them. Maybe they'll interview me. Maybe I'll provide them with like some worksheets or some DIY stuff or some downloadables. But because I've worked so intimately with Zach over the last couple of years through the client relationship that I have with Donna, and then also in business in the raw, we decided that the best possible thing we could ever do is for me to teach him how to do it, which is going to be so remarkable. To not just blah, blah about this is why you should do positioning and this is how you do it, but to actually take and workshop and teach him how to do it, where, he's like a second chair while I do some positioning with Donna, and then takes a lead with his own client and I play the second chair. So it's more, I don't know, that I'm just really excited about the idea of kind of passing the positioning torch to somebody else. Someone taught me how to do it. I didn't invent it, and that person who taught me how to do it didn't invent it either. It can be kind of taught all the way along. And so Zach's the new, not pulling up the ladder, but not pulling up the ladder. Zach's the new kind of person on the ladder, and I think that's just really cool. I love to teach and mentor, and I cannot wait to not just tell Zach about positioning, but actually get him good at doing it for himself, and what a benefit towards his own business. And I just think that's cool. Just think it's cool.
It's real cool. Don and Zach, we're so thrilled that you've made some time to hang out with us today.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, my favorite client, NZD.
Hold on. I have the happy birthday magic wand.
Yes!
Magic wishes. See, we raised the wand, so now the wish will come true.
That's incredible.
Donna, and as you know, the magic wand question is my standard question.
Yeah.
If you had a magic wand, what would you do? You made my day with that magic wand, lady. Thank you so much. If you guys feel like hanging around and kind of coming back around for everybody, that's awesome. But
I hope you will. Go back. There are two other big questions that I think that'll be great to hear some more from.
Okay.
But
But if you do have to go, we understand.
Yep. And likewise, all good.
Yeah. Before we go, let's let you know that Kathleen says that Donna seems so fun. I couldn't agree more. Kathleen, she's a
I'm
delight.
trying to break the mold of accountants, okay?
And this is how you're a disruptor. That's my favorite part.
It's always so funny, like going into either we're writing copy or we're like, looking at videos or something, like analyzing what we've done. And I'm like, just sitting there and I'm like, this sounds too much like an accountant. And that's like what she does. But it's just like the regular accounting industry is broken. And that's kind of like why you're so special, is that it's kind of what makes you different than everyone else, is that just you're for the people who aren't accountants, right?
Donna benefits from a broken system. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And I would say that also another thing that's interesting is that those guys, story Zach just told, is like the anti-brand voice. Like when you develop a brand voice, it is the guide that helps you kind of stay on task. So maybe your brand voice is Miss Piggy, or maybe your brand voice is like Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, or maybe your brand voice is like Gary Vee or whatever. To just develop a brand voice that you're going to stay away from. That's amazing to me. Like, you sound too much like an accountant. Squeeze on over here. It's kind of like the anti-hero that chases you rather than the brand voice that inspires you. So you guys love to come at everything from a different angle, and that's what makes us such a great fit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming for this delicious segment. And like I said, if you feel like sticking around, that's fantastic. If you got to go and keep on being an entrepreneur on fire, I understand.
And you don't even need to tell us yet if you want. No. Thank you, Don.
All right.
Thanks.
Who's next, Rebecca?
Oh my God. Let's bring out RB, who's been waiting so patiently. Oh, Zach's still here. And Zach's not. And Janine, my business and the Raw friends. Hey, RB and Janine.
Janine, you're muted. Sorry, lady.
What an honor. I get to share the screen with Janine.
Wow.
And of course, you and Tony. Wow. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh my God. It's like listening to FM radio in the 90s. Oh, Ross, you're so great. Oh my God.
The voice from the past and present.
Yeah.
Speaking of the voice, Janine, here comes your suit. What do we call it? The smooth, oozing the smooth suit.
Oozing the smooth, smooth that oozes.
The smooth soothe.
I'll take it.
That's you, baby. That's you, baby. Thank you guys for coming to our birthday party. Virtual cheers with a champagne glass to you, Tony.
So Ross and Janine, you've heard what we're doing. We're starting off asking the question of each of you share your favorite stone fruit memory from the past year. RB, let's start with you.
I gotta say, I was gonna say it was the first time that I was on the show, but it literally was finding out that Rebecca was doing the show and that she was doing not only a weekly live stream show, but she was doing a show about creating a live stream show, a show within a show about a show, and planning to do a show from that show. And so, I mean, that was a lot of commitment. And I was just like, wow, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. I've been hoping for years that you would start live streaming, and let everybody see that same personality that you bring to your Zoom calls and your talks in person. So now you're doing it, and a year. Wow.
I learned it from watching you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, honestly, Ross, like I learned it from watching
but
you.
But in spite of that, you're doing very well.
Well, again, it is because of you. Honestly, here's the origin story. So Jill, who I hope will have a chance to come by here. Jilly is here. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Jilly's here. So Jill says, hello, you're about as visible as, a zygote. Aren't you? You gotta pick a platform. Are you gonna lean into writing? Are you gonna start a Substack? Are you going to start a podcast? Are you gonna do something on YouTube? What are you gonna do? And I'll never forget, RB, because you're the one who said, if you do live streaming, it is the most effective bang for your buck. Because you do it once and you have to be prepared. Like fly by the seat of your brand pants is not a good way to be. Like there's some work that goes into it. Got to be prepared, but you do it once. It's one take, so you're not obsessing over the take, and that's what it is. And then you can like infinitely break up all of the assets, however you want to do it. You could curate it. You could create a podcast. You could have reels. You can do anything you want once you've live streamed, because now you have the asset. And so I was like, that's for me. That's a club sandwich, because you do it one time, it's just done, and then you can compound the assets 1,000 different ways. So that was the answer, and it comes from what you taught me about why live streaming is important. And you taught me that when we positioned you in like 2017, maybe, if you remember.
After DC Podfest.
After DC Podfest. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what's amazing is that really there are very few other mediums where after a half an hour or an hour of live streaming, you actually have an hour of content done. And then you can pick from that content. It takes me longer to make a 5-minute video or a 3-minute video for YouTube than it does to do an hour live stream that, pretty much like cut off the intro, cut off the extended outro, and now you've got a podcast. Now you've got other content you can repurpose. So I think what you're doing is really cool, and you've got so much content, and now you're creating something new every week.
Well, thank you for that inspiration. And when you found out I was doing a live show, do you remember what you said?
I don't, but I'm sure I was thrilled.
Why don't you do 2?
Oh yeah. One's
Why
not
don't you
enough.
do 2? One is not enough. Why don't you do 2?
This is my first of 3 shows today, so I mean, one's just like one, but once you start doing 2, now you're really a pro.
And also I'm a weekly panelist on live stream.
Right, so you got 2 almost back to back today.
And Business in the Raw will be starting back up.
So you got 3 shows. You got 3 shows.
That whole concept is bananas to me, dude.
And I'm hearing you talking to your team, and you're like, oh, you're gonna do this show, and Tony's doing, that day, and Kathleen's doing Canada, Thanksgiving from Canada, and what. So you've got a whole like ecosystem at work here. Zach producing and
an ecosystem. Oh my god, the double meaning.
Everybody's you got everything in place. You're like a big media organization with all these different people.
Hey man, that's a brand strategy.
I've never thought about that actually, but you are so
that
right.
is. I mean, Paul
Tony's
is not
your technical director. He's your audio engineer.
Janine is the voice.
Janine's your voiceover specialist. Zach is your video producer. I mean,
yeah.
Jilly's like
Jilly's
like your you're kind of like your design, like your big picture design person, like you're sort of like
Look what you accidentally made for yourself.
Yeah, so
well,
I mean
it's not an accident though. I do have to tell you, it's not an accident. When I back like in 2017, when I met Paul King for the very first time, who's not here today, but is another video guy here at Stone Fruit, and I want to acknowledge him. Paul and I met at a entrepreneurial, like peer-to-peer learning thing that was the AARP. And the AARP gave a presentation, and the theme of that presentation was, it doesn't matter what you sell, you are a media company. And they showed us an example of a show that they had produced, a 22-minute show that was just retirees living exciting lives. And all your AARP was like this big. That's all it was. Wow. But it was like a pilot, a gardener, like a traveler, like exciting lives. And that's their commercial. And the point was, it doesn't matter what widget you sell, you are a media company. So the fact that you picked up on that, RB, is by design, that if you want to be successful in marketing today, you have to think of yourself as a media company.
I started getting mail from AARP when I was in my 30s. It's like they knew. It's like they knew one day. They knew one day I would get old. It's like they're psychics.
It's a pre-launch
actuaries and psychics. Those folks.
That's hilarious. So you are a goddamn inspiration. And
thank you.
And although Janine. And even though Janine and I have known each other just about that long too, if it weren't for Business in the Raw and you pushing that forward, Ross, that wouldn't be a thing either. So thank you.
I mean, that is got to be the most ambitious first show I've ever seen anybody do. I mean, to do a 12-episode reality show, and you're doing more now episodes too. But I mean, to commit to that as your first season, most people would be like, I'm going to do a show. Let me get a guest, interview that guest, and then I'll get another guest. So I have somebody to talk to next week. But I mean, amazing. I don't even know what to say. I was so floored by how that all came together.
And she sustained the same energy, if you will, throughout each episode, and things are together. I mean, the same level of energy pouring into into me and my business, but also for the viewing audience. That's what I think it's just phenomenal about the entire concept, that people are learning as I am growing. I just think it's fabulous. So
it's like real reality TV, because you guys aren't being dropped into scenarios by a producer and going, this will be good, let's get them fighting or whatever. Like, you guys are doing the real work that you would be doing anyway, but you're doing it and capturing it and making a show out of it. And so it's really real. I mean, it's as real as if you were doing it live. Basically, you're just taking the components to tell the story week by week. But
guess what, Ross? Guess what, Ross?
You didn't do the next
Janine,
season.
do you want to tell him? Yeah.
What?
We're doing season 2 live.
Oh yeah,
live.
We're doing it live. Yes, we are. I'm so geeked about that. And I think it makes sense. Rebecca has rolled out this entire plan for season 2, and the live element is, I think it's what people,
I think that will make it so real.
I do too. So do I. And I think Zach has done a phenomenal job in making what was recorded feel live. And now they're really getting the real thing, and then being able to use those assets later on.
The plan is then Zach will take the assets and create the digestible, consumable version of season 2, but you can watch along and live or in the replay as we actually do the sessions. So it's like, you're in StreamYard anyway, you're already recording, why not be live? Why not tap into that and just do the thing? Also, Ross, you might find it interesting because we're alternating. So one week it'll be our session, and the next week I'm going to open my laptop and I'm going to write the assets live.
Yeah,
cool.
And man, in the age of AI, if you ever wanted me to prove to you that this is written by a real person, there it is.
That's right.
When it's AI, I don't even know.
I remember Jody Kringle saying something significant, if I can just remember the quote. But to distinguish yourself from the AI sort of platforms is not only doing streaming, but people need to be able to see who you are in the work, and that's why I think your idea of actually taking that the week following our session and actually doing the I think for people to see that is just going to be phenomenal.
I hope so. I hope we get a couple eyeballs on that, because
we will.
Why not? Thank you.
Streaming is a nice outcome. As an egalitarian, method that's emerged, being like, gatekeepers are removed, and you can do something for yourself, and demonstrate what you are about, and use that to make stuff.
Yeah, and
I think if you're also trying to get clients and so forth, people being able to see how you reacted, even if they watch it later in a clip or on tape, but seeing how you're reacting to real situations,
the nonverbals
live,
and stuff, 100%.
The whole thing, it's like, okay, here's a script and you're putting it together. It's not like you did 16 takes and then the best one went into the script. They're seeing your ability to react to real people in real time. Mm-hmm. And so they get a real sense of this is what it would be like to work with Janine. This is what it'd be like to work with Rebecca. Mm-hmm. And I think that's another powerful thing. Even if they only end up watching a 30-second clip on your website or something like that, the fact that they know that it was live.
That's a commercial. That's a commercial for you.
Exactly.
It's like
this is a commercial for me.
as it should be. And you know what? That actually ties into that your original question, Tony, about which one is our favorite episode.
Yes, Janine, tell us.
Well, let me tell you. So, do you remember the stone fruit? I know here, day 69, profoundly positioned. Rebecca, I mean, I think that's the first time, the episode after you and I had our, and but you showed us what positioning is all about. I mean, you literally started to pull back your own peel of your own banana, if you will, and you talked about, you know, that you realized who you are, that you're showing up as a disruptor. I think you said of disruptors or something like that. Did I get your quote right? Anyway, but you said that, but you stepped into your own persona, you know, and you're like, this is who I am. I'm even showing you how I do this, you know, apply this work to myself. I thought that was just, you know, phenomenal. And then for me to benefit from it in a way that was at, you know, it was real time. I mean, I went through that life-changing evidence rendering, but really it was a self-revealing process. But you went through it first, which is why I think me and others, other clients in the future will really benefit from it, because you know what it feels like. Because it's a, you know, it's an experience. What do you call it, Tony? Entrepreneurial therapy?
Entrepreneur therapy.
That's exactly what it is.
Rolls right off your tongue. I have to give credit where credit is due, and that is that Jilly did my positioning for that one.
Yeah.
And she was the one who walked me through that. So I'm excited that she's our next segment. And I will share, Janine and Ross, that Jilly and I are working on a 6-part series that's here right on Stone Fruit Roll Up. We've already done 3. We're taking a 2-week break, and then there's 3 more in which I'm the entrepreneur going through it in a business in the raw like process. And
we're doing exactly what you said, Ross. We're turning it into repurposing it into a podcast.
Exactly right. So that's called Rewilding Stone Fruit, and that's Jilly is leading that, and I am the Janine.
You guys could actually facilitate this for other businesses. Like none of you have to be the talent, but you could have like another business who's never done a sort of behind the scenes look in live at how we do our work process, and they could come to you and say, give us the format that you use for Business in the Raw. And
you could also buy the Business in the Raw at Home edition.
You could,
and currently available for sale.
In fact, that would be a wonderful thing to do right now, because then you could actually understand it yourself and so forth. But one day there might be the Stone Fruit, you know, production company or something where people just come for this treatment. Like they just sit down at the mics, but you guys know the whole playbook of how
live streaming as the new escape room.
I love that.
The activity you do with your work teammates.
Yeah.
You know, I actually love that concept, because if you think about it, anyone can write down your formula. What is it? You know, who are your people? What do they need? And Rebecca, you know them better than I do. What are you delivering and so forth? But at that stage, it's only a theory, right? But you need someone or a thing to help walk you through it, right? To help facilitate it, because that's where the application happens. So I love that whole model that you just described. Very cool indeed.
Well, let's see what Jill has to say about that.
Okay.
That Ross has us in a whole new industry.
Yeah.
I love it.
Jill is waiting in the wings. So let's close out this segment if we can. And if you guys want to stick around for just a little bit, we'll have Jill, and then we'll bring everybody who's still here back around. Does that sound like fun?
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Okay. Johnny, is that cool?
Thanks, folks. Love it.
Okay. All right.
Bring
So
on
let's
that jelly.
Bring on the jelly.
Boy. Jilly, and your hair. Oh my God, you look great.
Thanks. I got the pineapple thing, and I got my new tooth, so I'm like a new woman.
And you raced back here. You raced back here to bring us the energy.
Honestly, I've raced back, so I'm feeling quite hyper.
Welcome, Jilly,
which is
to our
good birthday energy.
Really is.
Birthday, people.
Jilly, you are the resident business coach of myself, and also Business and the Raw, and also participant in Stone Fruit Roll Up, and also I'm on your podcast, and also we have a special co-creation thing called Rewilding Stone Fruit, and also we are thinking about starting a podcast together, and also thank you for being here on my birthday. You've helped me birth Stone Fruit. In fact, here's my quote for you: "We're birthing this baby." That was what you said to me
Birthing this baby.
in August.
We're birthing this baby. I just had no idea what a baby we were birthing. What a bouncing, healthy, beautiful baby we were birthing at the time.
As long as you're gaping.
What? Well, this baby can be a little colicky, but is the sunshine of my life. Let's say that. Thank you.
Exactly. And this is so brilliant, isn't it? Like a year in. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the celebration, but I'm so happy I made it back in time because it's been a year. Woo!
Yeah, it's been bananas. I'm still in reactive mode, just trying to, like any other business, just trying to figure out how to make all of the people, processes, and technology get in elegant alignment, as they say. But why not celebrate our milestones?
Gosh, why not? And also, I think it's really interesting you say that, because this is something that I notice all the time is entrepreneurial impatience. A year in the life of a business is not a long time. And so if after a year you're in a position where you've done 2 live shows, you've been a guest on other people's shows, you've done so much, you've worked with amazing clients, you've brought out new products, more than one new product, you've done such a phenomenal amount in this year. But isn't it easy as entrepreneurs to say, oh, but we've been going a year and we're still pushing at it. Yeah, because you've only been going a year. I think it's been an amazing year.
I just gave Janine this pep talk 2 weeks ago. We all still feel this way. It doesn't matter how long you've been at it.
We all do it.
She was so adorable. I mean, I wish she could have seen me smiling on the other end of the phone of where she was. And I just want to have all my stuff together. I want to have it all organized and all together. And I want to know what I'm doing. And I want to be confident. And I need to have my shit together. And I can't wait till I do. And I said, guess what? You never do. It always feels like this. It's like motherhood, I think. You birth it, and then you have it, and then you do the best you can, and every day is a different day, and it's always just something different. You never really get used to it. So hearing that talk from you, Janine, I wasn't lying.
And you have good days and you have bad days, but you don't stop loving it.
Well, you've helped me when I've had any kind of identity crisis or existential crisis. You've been there. So this business baby would not be here if it were not for you helping me form it, cheering me on to birth it, and encouraging me to keep making it better. And it's tremendously exciting to be rewilding it with you.
Yeah, that process is so fun. And I just want to, say thank you so much to you for that opportunity, because it's like anything, isn't it? You have this idea of something you want to roll out. And you and I are quite similar in this. It's like, what's that? You've got a vague idea. Oh, let's just do it live, see what happens. What could possibly go wrong?
Because live stream it, why not?
Whatever, but luckily for us, it's working out so well. The feedback has been amazing. People have been really kind to both of us in the feedback that we've received. So yeah, it's great adventure.
Indeed.
So Jilly, why don't you tell us about your favorite stone fruit memory from the past year?
Oh God. My favorite stone fruit memory is I think it was actually episode 2. It wasn't one that I was on. It was one that Rebecca did on her own. She did it outside. You were sitting in front of a building, so you weren't even in your usual space.
I was in front of Tony's apartment.
Yep.
Yes, it was. It was in front of your apartment. And you were still in the I'm not 100% comfortable being live yet, but I'm also just going for this now. And I can still remember watching that, sitting right here, obviously, because I literally live in this room, never ever leave it. And I can remember watching that episode and just feeling actually quite emotional, because I had been nagging you, as I like to. I always say to people, if you want a business coach that's really nice to you, don't bother working with me, because I'm quite a nag. But but I was nagging you about visibility and saying, like, people are, if you want to grow your business, people need to know about you. They need to see you. You need to be visible. And my God, did you take that by the horns? So I remember seeing that episode of you doing this episode live, not in a normal workplace, outside, and just going for it and doing the like face to camera. I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away by that, and it really stands out in my mind.
Oh, thanks, Jilly.
Okay.
My favorite stone fruit moment is every time I stone with you.
Oh, thank you. We love the cheese around here, don't we? We love the cheese.
We do indeed. Tony, would you like?
Should we bring? Stop singing every time we go live. I keep breaking into song. I'm so sorry.
Disagree. Tony, shall we bring everybody back out for like?
Yes. We're for a lightning round.
Yeah. Oh.
Awesome. Yeah.
And so thank you for everybody who was so patient. Donna, Zach, RB, Janine, Kathleen.
Oh my goodness.
There are a few people who wanted to be here today who are not. So I'll do a little shout out to them at the very, very end. But this is our birthday party. I'm gonna take a screenshot. That's how good I'm feeling about it.
Command Shift 3, baby. That's all you gotta do.
Oh my God, I did it.
How'd you
do it? I did it. Awesome. All right, lightning round.
Okay, so we're gonna do this lightning round. And by the way, you may hear some construction outside of my building, so just let you know about that. So we're gonna go around the world, around our little world here, and I want you to tell us what you expect or hope to see from Stone Fruit in year 2. Be as specific as you can be, and try to mix in some targeted advice.
Very good. You're gonna have to call on people.
Jilly, let's start with you, because I know Jilly prepped. That's all.
Of course. Oh, I'm such a good student. Okay, I have something. This was such an easy one for me. More joint adventures. Rebecca, you are the queen of collaboration. Nobody collaborates better than you do. You're so generous. You're a dream to work with, and your ideas are always on fire. So anyone who gets to collaborate with you is just so blessed. So that's what I want more of, because more people need that opportunity to collaborate with you next year.
My God, that's like a dream come true. I would love to just do collaborations all day long. I'm working in a silo is only so great. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Jilly.
Welcome.
Donna, over to you, love.
All right. I have big things on the agenda for this year, Rebecca. You know this. I'm going to tear it all down and we're going to start over. We're going to use some of the building blocks that you've already formed, but this is our big reinvention time coming for next year. So you're going to play a big role in that. So we're excited to relaunch all the websites. Zach's already been in the works on that. So I want you to be a part of all of that new up and running and new process and the reinvention of all of it.
You teased that advice, Donna. Way to go.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you stuck around for the end of it. I feel like I opened a present. That's like, honestly, I can't imagine hearing words come out of your mouth that make me any more squealing with delight. Reinvention is my absolute yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I cannot wait. And I can't say I've been there since the beginning, since you had lots and lots of time under your belt by the time we got together. But in terms of like really putting in the branding effort, I have been there since the beginning. So it's going to be so cool to see it emerge. I love hearing you say that, Donna. I love you so much. You've been a wonderful client, and you are the model by which I seek other clients. And I just thank you for being here.
You're welcome. We appreciate all that you've done for us as well. You've really kind of put like the bow around everything. You know, we had so many fragmented systems. We still do. And it's coming together.
It's been awesome to work with you on this stuff. And you make me feel like a true, I don't know. When I work with you, I feel like I've made it. Like I'm really delivering value, and it's coming back, and it's growing a business, and the ideas are working, and the words are sticking, and the people are have something to believe in, and you just make me feel like I'm running with the big dogs, and I appreciate that a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna, such a sweetie. The kiddo, Zach.
Oh boy, I'm sure you love being called that.
Yeah, kind of the same thing she said. Honestly, like we're like, for as far as the Calculated Moves brand, like we're tearing everything apart, breaking it down. Like I'll give you the analogy. Yesterday, I cleared out everything out of my room. I moved everything out and put it all back in so that it is cleaner. Gotta move my whole bed out, like literally everything, destroy everything, rebuild. And that's kind of the same thing that we're doing here. And then building out the new funnels, the new systems, everything like that. I think you're going to play an integral part in that because of the all the copy and all the stuff that has to get written for that. You got big things coming in 2024. So yeah, that's kind of where I see everything going as well.
Zach,
don't forget business in the raw. Don't forget business in the raw season 2.
That too. Yep, for sure.
Zach, you make me want to make my bed. Janine, let's hear from you.
I think it was Jill who mentioned collaborations, and I wrote partnerships, and just being able to, I want to be able to contribute to your identifying new partners, that you can work with, not just in season 2, because I will be a part of that season, but moving forward. And that what we do in season 2 that is more sustainable, and be that go-to, that, to help just refer clients to you. You talk about disruptors to you, those who want to see the world differently than their present status. So, and I just want to say one other thing. My favorite fruit is the olive tree, and I did a little research on that, and I know why. The olive tree is a very unsuspecting stone fruit. I don't know if many people realize it is a stone fruit, but what I love about it is that it's resilient, right? It's well suited to grow in dry and arid regions where other crops may struggle to survive, and making a parallel between the stone fruit and you, but that it's also adaptable and has a long lifespan and continue to produce. My hope for you is that you continue to produce fruit for many, many years. So,
Janine, I love olives, and they are an unsuspecting stone fruit. Also, pistachios, which is another kind of like record scratch. Tony hates olives, and he calls them salt beans. But
salt beans.
Oh my God. They're sustainable salt beans. They really know how to make it happen.
It was like 4 years ago, and I thought to myself, "Man, why the hell do olives exist?" And then I went, "Oh yeah, olive oil."
Exactly. That's right. Exactly.
And top it
up. So yeah, except for great, they need energy, they need water, and the same thing that you need. People who are going to pour back into you.
100%. Looks like Kathleen had to jump off, so I think we're going to close out with Ross. Ross, I've been saving you for last because I just want to hear you again for like 2 more full minutes.
Well, I didn't know this question was coming, but in thinking the last couple of minutes, I think the next step where you could really like grow would be thinking about community. And relying on organic reach for shows and social media and stuff is really hard right now. But if you have a platform where you can build a community where people gather to talk about your shows and watch your shows, and maybe you provide a little extra content, you do a few, let's do a speed branding round for everybody in the chat or whatever. And I think as you get people into your ecosystem, then you suggest join our whatever it is, our Facebook group, our Discord server, our locals community, but something where you start to take all these people and we're all chatting with each other and hanging out in that place, whether it's to watch the shows or to talk about the shows or to communicate with each other about whatever's going on in our businesses or our world. And then you become sort of the center of that. And, eventually that's maybe an easier way to reach an audience for your content and for your business than relying solely on what the organic reach of social media is, including YouTube, which it's a tough game. I mean, it's just tough to gain audiences on most of the platforms right now. They just aren't showing your content to a lot of people. And of course, YouTube will want to show it to people, but you're starting when you're still in that first or second year phase of doing something, you don't have the reach that you may eventually have as more audiences find your stuff. It's like you got to get experience to get a job, but you got to have a job to get experience. So community can be another way of gathering people who are passionate about your show, and then you have a built-in audience that's growing and a place where people can go, and where you can message them. The whole thing. I don't know. I'm rambling on, but I'm just thinking through this as
I like when you ramble.
we talk.
I like when you ramble. You have the best ideas. And if my community just includes everybody here that's on the screen, then that is a wonderful fucking start.
And I think so Kathleen's computer decided to update, which is just, God, it's so funny the computers still do that it'll just it'll select a moment to just say, see ya. But I know that Kathleen would say, go to Trader Joe's, right, Rebecca?
Yep, I think so. Indeed.
That's some polite Canadian advice right there. That's sounds a boot right.
Oh boy. Oh boy, that computer's not all dressed. But
Kathleen talked a little
bit tech jokes.
Didn't Kathleen talk a little bit about streamlining and just having more contractors and something like that, right? I think she had already poured into that.
No, she totally preempted me.
She did.
Thanks, Kathleen. We love you.
She did indeed. I know we've gone over time for people who have committed an hour. I'm going to continue just for like literally just a few minutes to kind of acknowledge some of the folks who aren't. Ooh, I'm just going me. I'm freaking out on this. Wow. Now it says Tony. Okay, let me come on back. I'm going to go a little bit longer just to acknowledge some folks who have really participated in Stone Fruit, who are not here today, like Taylor and Paul and Calvin. So if folks, I'm just going to kind of make it me. If you need to go, that's great. If you want to stick around and just see a little bit of acknowledgement of some other people who have made this happen, I encourage you to do so, but I'll keep it quick. Thank you for everyone who came and wrangled your time and stay. Aw, and thank you to Tony. Really branched out. Branched out of your comfort zone.
I love you, Tony.
Tony's
love
gonna
you,
be
Tony.
a video star any day now. He's gonna.
Oh
go
my
all
God,
video.
Ross!
Can't do this without being on video from here on in.
You know what you need to tell him. He needs another show.
You need another show.
Maybe
Maybe a weekend show to get started. We
I gotta
do
get a show. I gotta get a show. Is that my new is that my new catchphrase, Ross? I gotta get a show. Cool. Rebecca, let's acknowledge some amazing work.
Yeah, thank you so much. First, this is I just want to talk about the graphic design of Stone Fruit. The logo was done by Calvin Crane Nelson, and this version here was a real beautiful collaboration between Calvin and Taylor Campia, who did the photography, and also Jody Wissing, who put these all together. So it's a great example of how the collaborative environment here at Stone Fruit is, just really people bringing their own unique talents to the table and creating something delicious. So let's acknowledge what they're doing. Happy birthday, you imperfectly perfect pistachio. This is the beginning of my slide presentation, which did not get very far. Let us also acknowledge Paul King, who's not here today. Paul really helped me form the aesthetic of this show, and also is our resident video guy. He's done promos. I'll link all this in the show notes. He's done promos for Business in the Raw, a commercial for me, a time lapse, a testimonial reel. He came on the roll up like on episode 3, and ever since then I had to have episode graphics. I'd like to also acknowledge Taylor Campia, who does all of our photography, from the personality shots here to the fruit shots and some video stuff. She's phenomenal. She's done a photo shoot for me and Janine for Business in the Raw Season 2, which we're super excited to share with you. Let's also acknowledge Becky Benfield Humberstone, who did a short-lived version of the Stone Fruit newsletter, which we might be able to bring back next year. And also her company, The Brand Artisan, does all of our episode art. She's phenomenal. Consults a lot. Calvin, again, doing all our logos. Here's 2 just to look at. And that is all. So Jody, Taylor, Paul, Calvin, I love you. Thanks for everything. And remove from the stage. Just us, you guys. Just us. Aw, thanks for coming.
That's fabulous.
Thanks
Happy
for having
birthday.
us.
Happy belated. And all that stuff. And moving forward, of course. And Jill, it's great to see you. Gosh.
Great to see you too. Happy birthday, Rebecca.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much, Tony. Again, I can't thank you enough for the gift of your personality and the gift of taking the anxiety of running a show with this many people on at one time by myself.
It was a blast. Thank you for the opportunity. I was like, who wants to run everything? Like that sounds. You told me about this, and I was like, you need someone else to help pull this. So I was like,
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you thought of it.
You're savanting, like getting other people to do things for you is great. I love you.
Yeah. That's how a woman works.
Oh boy. That's cool.
Thank you for your time, everybody. I'm going to end this broadcast. Please join us again next Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Stone Fruit Roll-Up, where our guest will be Heather Lyle, who's so interesting. She is an executive leadership coach, and she helps people learn how to be better leaders by identifying their messaging through a DISC assessment. So how you can figure out messaging by a DISC assessment, I can't wait.
I don't even know what that is.
What, you work at an HR company and you don't know what a DISC assessment is?
No, is that an acronym?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it stands for. But it's a personality based. Essentially, it's the introvert, extrovert, something.
So Myers-Briggs thing.
Similar.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No.
It's good. DISC is really good. That's what I think. It's my favorite one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I did it, and what it told me was so accurate. I think it's good.
So how you get messaging from a DISC assessment has me curious. So that's what we'll talk about next week. And then the following week, starting in November, already, my God, the middle of November, Jilly is back to Rewild Stone Fruit with the second half of that series. And that will be super exciting. I will put everything I can think of remembering to do in the show notes. And we will see folks next week. Janine, Jilly, Tony P, my baby. Thank you for everything.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, folks.
No,
Bye,
thank you. It's been
everyone.
great.
Bye.
I love that episode, and I hope you love it just as much as I do. I hope you loved it just as much as I do. I love being a part of this team. I have always, and I will always love it so much. I am so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to receive the opportunities I have received. I will go more into detail about that during our next week's episode, which will be our final episode of the Stone Fruit Roll-Up. You can look forward to seeing the final episode last, and I'm very excited to share it with you. Bye, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your day. It's evening here when I'm recording this because I will be unavailable when this episode goes live. But I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week.